So this is where warm, moist air is kind of feeding back into here. So we worry about a little bit of circulation features, and that'll enhance our wind damage potential. And we can't rule out isolated tornadoes. We're in a severe thunderstorm watch area, but that doesn't mean we couldn't have a little bit worse weather. And the higher probability of something significant is further south and east. So that's what we're keeping our eyes on right now with this particular part. So that is going to be going through the Pierce area. And also, in fact, we'll have Stacia do an update on a storm track on this because this is worth noting. And then Vaughn is still hanging out in some of the heaviest of the rain in that particular zone. So he's going to follow that east to the Wichita area along 266. And Stacia, as we look at what's happening here, we do have a little bit of a couplet. What do you have?
I know, I don't like to see that, but this is going to move northeast, and it's kind of just one big thunderstorm at this point, but you got to watch that southern edge. So here with my track, I'm still going to take it northeast at about 50. So this is going to track again into the western parts of Muscogee County. That's going to happen in the next about 15-20 minutes. The bulging area, the strongest winds right now is in far eastern McIntosh County. It's east of Morris at this point, still west of Boynton, and with how fast it's moving, it's honestly probably right at the Okmulgee-Muskogee line, just west of Boynton. So those winds are going to hit you soon, and then to Wainwright by 11:15, by Taft 11:18, and the west side of Muscogee by 11:30. And again, I did include that tail end there that Vaughn is going to watch. It's just down to his southeast now. That tail end is going to clip through the northwestern parts of McIntosh County, Trav. But the track is fast, a lot of wind potential with this storm.
That is for sure, and you can see it's covering a lot of territory, so that's what we see right there. We'll go back up and get an update from Alan now that he's past Morris. Hey, Alan, if you would, give us an update on what happened in Morris. Did you see any leaves, branches, anything like that? Maximum winds we were hearing were about 50 miles an hour from emergency management from there. You estimated 50 to 60. What do you have now?
Yeah, Travis, I think that 50 mile an hour held up. We don't have any branches, any debris across the roadway we can tell. We're finally getting to a point now that the visibility is clearing up a little bit, surprisingly, so we can look for signs of damage pass through, but nothing visible just yet. We'll keep you advised.
All right, thanks. Appreciate it. So again, they're heading eastbound right now. Let's go back to radar, and we're going to look at the wind and velocity, what's happening here with the wind shear. So you can see this is kind of a bit of a swirling area. So this is over Bald Hill area, Bald Hill Road, and then that's moving to the northeast. So that's going to be coming up around the Midway area shortly. So there could be some winds in excess of 60 miles an hour with this now. In fact, could even be at Stacia, I think you mentioned, was 70. So it's 60 to 70 miles an hour is quite possible with this. And this is a circulating area. So this is a rotating area. So if there is going to be wind damage, it'd be kind of in this swath that's been coming out of Okmulgee and then moving up through the Gun Club Road and then on up toward Bald Hill Road, and that will continue to track to the northeast. We'll have Stacia do a track on this for you guys that are in northern Okmulgee County and also into western Muscogee County, so you kind of have an idea of what we're looking at. But at this time, this would be the strongest winds. So we want to be careful. Just we're going to stay with this for a few minutes, a few more minutes, just to make sure this doesn't do anything super wild. But at this point, again, winds are the biggest thing, and then there's just tons of rain pretty much embedded in this area. And you see Allen's on the southern side, so he's not getting the biggest impact of the strongest winds. We do have some folks that will be intercepting this as well here in a little bit. Aaron, who's going to intercept this next? Is going to be on that. Is that Brandon?
Brandon is moving to the north side of Muscogee.
Okay. All right. Good. So we can keep a track on what's going on here. That now that you can see how fast that jumped on the latest update. And we have our own radar too that we'll be looking at, and we're going to be watching for what's happening there. Stacia, what do you have for us?
Trav, so that northern edge where you're just pointing out the shear, that is moving northeast and quickly. So midway here in the next 2 minutes or so. It's probably, again, just on the west side of town now, southwest side. Haskell, 11:10, Spring Hill by 11:15, and Porter by 11:19. So we're only tracking kind of that where it kind of curves around, and where Trav mentioned could be an area where more likely there's going to be potentially some damage with how strong these winds could be. So midway here very shortly, pretty much now. Haskell, that's by 11:10, Spring Hill by 11:15. Even along the line, you can still have some strong winds, and right along the Okmulgee-Muskogee line west of Boynton, but this is where we think the strongest winds are, and the strongest winds moving northeast, where you're going to get that bulge area. That's going to be more of an easterly movement into Boynton, but that area we're tracking now, Trav, is pretty much in midway here in the next
All
week.
right.
So.
Yeah, that is moving fast and continuing a easterly clip. And so we're going to do one more. Let's go down to Vaughn at Hitchita and just kind of get information on that part of the storm. Vaughn, if you would, looks like you're getting near that leading edge and near where there would be some inflow into that. What do you have for us?
I'm still on 266 here. I'm starting to get ahead of it, so I'll have a chance to turn around and look back. This is kind of the tail end area, so this is one of those areas we've got to watch for.
Have you noticed any inflow into in there?
Yeah, I cannot tell right now because I've been trying to get through this heavy rain to get out in front of it. As soon as I get in front of it, I'll let you know.
All right. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. So again, near the Hitchita area, and that's where we do have the south side of that severe thunderstorm. So we're going to keep eyes on what's going on there. Again, aerial flood advisory going on for Okmulgee County, central Okmulgee County. For a quick 1.5 inches of rain for some of those guys. Here's that area of turbulence moving toward the Haskell area. Again, not a tornado, but some wind potential. That wind damage is definitely still in the offing for that as that tracks to the northeast. That's why we have our severe thunderstorm warning. That will continue to move mostly northeast. So this is just one part of the storm. I also want to point out storms that are up to the north in a minute. Do we have a future scan we can run through there? And so this is what it looks like now. And what we're going to do is advance it so you kind of have an idea of what this also looks like as we go into the future. And so this is going to be taking it on into western portion of Muscogee County. And so this will be taking us right on through about 11:40 to 11:50. And so we're sitting at 11:03 right now. And then that's about an hour to 2 hours. So this is where the track should take it. And we could be within the next 2 hours, or I should say hour and a half. Should take it all the way over into Delaware County with additional cells coming in from out of the southwest. So that is what we're going to keep an eye on. Back into our area at this time to the north now, we're seeing those cells that have developed across areas to the north into portions of Osage County. So some of these are going to have hail, and you can see where there's some spots of hail. John just went through one of these that was near Claremore. John, if you would, give us an update on when you hit that cell. What happened? Did you have any pea-sized hail, anything associated with that?
I didn't encounter any hail, but had some winds up to about 35, maybe 40 miles an hour, Travis, and got some very, very heavy rain again and quite a bit of lightning. It's moving very fast to the northeast. It just kind of bubbled up between Sapulpa and Oakhurst and just raced off to the northeast.
Yeah,
it's really moving.
That's pretty interesting. All right. Thank you, Dirk. Appreciate it. John Durkee there. Keep an eye on the sky in the Tulsa area. All right, so this is in the metro area at this time. You can see that John is kind of waiting for the next band. They'll be coming on in. To the north, we do have, though, as we mentioned, rain. Here's that cell that has some small hail in it now over this east side of Okmulgee. And so all these tonight, they're just going to, and you could get some quarter-size hail or even larger maybe out of this. That's going to be a problem for tonight. These storms are going to blow up, and then they're just going to be there. Now, this is in the colder air, but it doesn't matter because warm air is getting shot up over the colder air, so which helps enhance the pretty much the updrafts, and the updrafts then support the potential for making a raindrop and turning it into ice, and then which eventually turns into an ice cube, or basically hail, and then that'll fall back down to the earth. So that's what we're seeing right now, and that's moving just west of Foyles, where the hail core is located at this particular moment. Further to the north, we have more rain and thunderstorms are showing up, as we said, across Osage County, Washington County, and then also now in Nowata County. So these cells are all going to be capable of producing some small hail, mostly heavy rains. And I think Aaron would be a happy person if we could get a lot of rain in Osage County just to fill up Skytook Lake so we could quit talking about it being below normal for the first time in like a year and a half or something. So we'll see how much rain we end up with in Osage County. But all of these cells are going to be dumping very, very heavy rainfall because of the downpours are going to be extremely intense, and that's just because there's so much moisture we're tapping into as this storm system comes up across the area. So I wanted to make sure you guys know up north we don't have severe weather, but any of these storms could make it a severe thunderstorm pretty quick just because of the hail. Can we do a 3D? Do you have time? Can you possibly make a 3D out of the one that's right around the Claremore area? We'll look at that, and then we'll come back down to the south to the Haskell area. I've been keeping an eye on what's going on with the cell that's down around Haskell. That is just kind of steady state right now, so it's not too bad, but the winds are still 50 miles an hour, potentially a little bit higher. Here's the a different look, and Stacia has the 3D look for us on this. So you can see the inside of the storm, and so this is what's pretty much supporting the hail that's aloft right now. And so we do have kind of an area in which you can tell is kind of bent, and that's all because there's such strong flow right now that's coming in out of the south, so that's helping even tilt it a little bit. So what we're getting is a couple of these areas in which there will be some chunks of hail falling, because this is becoming kind of a mature hail maker, and so we should have some reports of hail from you guys, unfortunately, coming out of this particular cell. So that gives you an idea. Even though that's to the north, that's continuing to build and being a bit of a problem there. Also, with the stronger winds that are down to the south, we will have an issue with wind and hail potential, but this has primarily not so much wind right now. There could be some gusts, 30, 40 miles an hour, potentially with some of that hail, but most of the thunderstorms to the north, wind will not be as big of a factor as along the boundary. Where we have more of that. Additional cells are developing out to the west of Tulsa as well, with more showers and storms. The biggest one with the severe weather continuing to move to the northeast. If we will look at this one more time around the Haskell area and where the strongest winds are showing up. So this is now moving across and into western portions of Muscogee County. So you can see from just west of Jamesville, Midway area, not as strong as it was just a little bit ago, and then also just south and west of Haskell. So this will be about 50-mile-an-hour winds or so. And so Stacia has an update on this track. What do you have?
Travis already outran my track. It's moving still very quickly. We're going to keep it on path here at about 50 to 55, and it could clip the northwest sides of Muscogee. So if you're joining us from Muscogee, get ready for some wind to come into town. That's going to be here probably in the next about 20 minutes or so. And so here we go with Jamesville by 11:11. Haskell, it's just on the southwest side by a few miles. So you're looking in the next 3 minutes to 4 minutes, the wind's really picking up. Porter by 11:22, west side of Muscogee by 11:30, Summit also about 11:30. So it's now in the western side of Muscogee County. Boynton's been hit by some wind, also going to get some rain here very shortly, but Taft and Porter extending over towards Wagner and OK. You are in line for this storm as it continues northeast, just kind of barreling through at a very fast pace.
All right, thank you, Ms. Stacia, appreciate it. Alan is right along that leading edge now, so Alan's coming up through the Boynton area. Alan, can you give us an update from out of Boynton? What do you have?
Hey, Travis, we've managed to get out ahead of the bulk of this storm, and it's still some significant rain. The winds have subsided down to maybe in the low to mid-30s as far as gusts go. So I know we're just right on the edge of it. It's about to hit us again, but right where we're at, we're in a decent spot. We're going to try and stay ahead of it. Haven't seen any kind of damage at all right now. So
all right, good.
I expect flooding in the area soon, but that's it for now. Back to you.
All right. Sounds good. Thanks, Al. And then Brandon is up by Muscogee, to the west of Muscogee. Hey, Brandon, going to come out to you for a minute. And are you seeing anything as that storm is approaching in your direction? What do you have for us?
Well, Dennis, we just got off the Muscogee Turnpike here on to 69. We're trying to find a turnaround so we can get situated and try to see what it looks like. But we're getting right in line for it, and we'll let you know what we end up finding back to you.
All right, sounds good. And I got to fix your mic, I think, a little bit there. Kind of, it was a little hard to understand what was going on. Let's go down south to where Vaughn is located and see what's going on with Vaughn and with the storm that's down on the east side. Vaughn, if you could give us an update, because I imagine you're already through Hitchita. And so where are you? Because it looks like your GPS is dragging. So what do you have for us?
Yeah, I think it's dragging behind me. I'm just coming into the west side of Shakota here in a couple miles. I'll be headed up 69. So I'm out ahead of it right now. So I'll be able to get a good look at that part of the storm that we need to watch as I move up towards Muscogee, Travis.
All right. Hey, thanks. Appreciate it. So again, we're looking at repositioning a few folks there and getting them so we can get some more information. We'll be going back to programming here if nothing else happens very quick, but we do want to make sure that if you are along this leading edge, so there should be some 40 to 50 mile an hour winds. We're showing you some of that shear as well as it continues to move on in. And then right along Highway 62 west of Taft. And so there's still additional rain and thunderstorms coming in from the southwest. Here's that warned storm. We knew it was probably going to happen with that hail core. So now the National Weather Service Service has issued officially a severe thunderstorm warning for basically hail with this one. So that continues to be chunks of hail. Stacia was showing you a three-dimensional look at that, and then once that blew up, we were like, yep, that's what's going to happen with that one. So again, a new severe thunderstorm warning as that tracks to Allouez and then on up to Estella and getting into Craig County. So that's going to be some chunks of hail that could put dents on cars and vehicles. So be advised, narrow at this point, but the possibility is there that that could happen. We do have a hail pretty much swath that we can show you that kind of as it started to develop, and you can just see how it's moving northeast at a pretty good clip at this particular moment. That follows the warning area. And speaking of which, Stacia, you want to give us an update?
Yeah, Trav, that speed is 60
wow.
miles per hour.
Wow.
So that is really fast. And again, this is mostly a hail threat here. This will head into now the southwestern side of Craig County and far southeastern Nowata County. So for Bowling Spring, Estella, and Centralia, heads up, Bowling Spring by 11:15, you really don't have time to get your car inside. It's knocking on your door. Estella by 11:23, Centralia by just before 11:30, and then Welch, this could clip your area by 11:40. So if you're up and you want to get your car inside, I do it now. I do it very quickly. Bowling Spring, you have maybe a minute or two. I don't think you have time. But Estella, Centralia, western and central sides of Craig County, I would get those cars in. That could be some hail falling there.
All right. I've told this story before. I'm going to tell it one more time. There was a friend of mine, I won't even say, but it's near Claremore. And I said, hurry up and get your car in the garage. And so he hurried up and got his dually pickup. He had just bought a nice dually pickup, which right now, they're worth $1 million or so. But anyway, he drove it into the garage, and he drove it so fast that he tore the fender off, and he just bought it. And he said he blamed me because I told him to hurry up and get it into the garage. So he wanted me to pay for it. He was joking, fortunately, but his insurance paid for it. But anyway, so when you take our words, just make sure you drive in your garage slowly. When we say hurry up, that doesn't mean hurry up and drive into your garage at about 20 miles an hour. Just going to throw that out there for future reference. Anyway, this is a hail core, though, that is serious. So again, around the Allouez area, so just be advised that's moving northeast, and so that'll be into Craig County. Other cells are going to have some hail with it. This is going to be the case as we go through the night. You can see Kevin, in fact, is up. He's intercepting storms up around Bartlesville at this point. Hey, Kevin, quick update from you. What are temperatures doing up there, and what's happening right now?
Well, Travis, right now the temp just dropped below 60 degrees. We're sitting at 59. Winds are still pretty calm, but we're just about to get into where that rain is. We'll see what it does. And the lightning is starting to pick up quite a bit as well up this way, Travis.
All right. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Great to have you up there. And again, our guys are all over the place. We appreciate that very much. We'll go back down one more time to our thunderstorm warning and information. You can see the temperatures here to give you an idea. 55 in Ponca City, still hanging on to 61 in Tulsa. Check these temperatures out. If you're south and east, you're like, it's pretty warm. Upper 70s. You got high humidity, high what we call dew points. And then you kind of run into the transition zone of showers and storms. That's the boundary, and that's what we're concerned with. Anything along this boundary or south, you guys will still have to stay with us tonight into the morning hours for any storms that are going to cause any problems. The rest of these storms are going to be more hail makers, and that's what we're concerned with. You can see where Kevin's cutting in on Bartlesville right now with rain and probably lightning. Is Bartlesville camera available too while we're up north? If we could, we'll just take a quick look at that. And what we're going to do is we're basically looking at the potential for not only heavy rain, but also embedded in that could be some hail. So you have some thunder and lightning. We do not expect anything super severe in Osage County or in Washington County. That's not to say you couldn't have maybe some golf ball size hail tonight, overnight into the morning hours. And then, of course, the heavy rains, which is going to be a potential. But as you can tell, not a ton of lightning right at this particular moment. Rain is falling. Which is, we'll call it a good thing, especially up in Osage County. All right, so that's that. Let's go back down to our south storm. The one that's near Haskell, that is moving just on the south side of Haskell at this time, and so not causing a lot of problems. We do have Allen, who's in the middle of it. We do have the actual 2 severe thunderstorm warnings going on, and so you can see where Allen is. Brandon's going to intercept that in a little bit. Hey, Allen, update from you. What do you have for us? What are the winds? Because you've been in that for a while. What's going on?
Yeah, Trav, we're looking at 15-mile-an-hour winds right here where we're standing. About to head back east with this storm and track it towards the Taft Muscogee area. It seems to be settling down a little bit. The winds don't seem to be as significant. The rain settled down some. I don't think we're done with it, but I do think that we do have a little bit of a easing up on the storm or
Yep,
where we're at this current moment. Back to you.
Good observation, and that is what's happening right now. Winds have come down to looks like about 30 to 40 miles an hour on that area that on that comma head kind of that we were watching. So again, a lot of rain though continues to fall across several areas. On the south side, Vaughn is down there. Hopefully he's got a good shot for us now. Hey Vaughn, I know that storm has been moving to the east. You can see where Vaughn is now, just near Okmulgee, and so that's continuing. You can see strong winds have been blowing and going up to the north. So it's moved through Allen's area, now from around Haskell to west of Taft, and then around the Okmulgee area, just west of Okmulgee, where Vaughn is located. Vaughn, what are you seeing along with the line of thunderstorms?
So I'm looking back to my west, getting ready to pull off and get you a shot here probably within the next 5 minutes. But there's an inflow band to this south part of this cell that's coming in. So that's a little bit worrisome. I'm going to turn around and give you a shot here in about 5 minutes. Travis, back to you.
All right, thanks. Appreciate it. So we're going to keep our eyes open on that, to what's going on. So you can see that line of storms coming through and the wind associated with some of that. Still around the Wainwright area, worth noting what's going on here on that south side of the storm that Vaughn is talking about. So this is still an area of concern. So this south side would have a higher potential for some issues. We can get a storm track station in just a moment from you. That'd be great. So we'll take a kind of find out what's going on with the south side so you have a pretty good idea. So this has already moved through the Boynton area. It's in Wainwright at this point, and it's going to continue to move to the east. Brandon's watching that. Hey, Aaron, is he still located north of Muscogee, or is he west of Muskogee? Is its GPS kind of, are they messing up tonight, or what's
No,
going
he's
on?
just north of Muskogee. He's just waiting to intercept that storm.
Okay, he's catching that. Okay.
Then Sequoia is a little further upstream from him.
All right.
Yeah.
Good news on that, I guess. And so we're going to be watching that. Stacia also has the latest on Storm Track Station.
The last track I just did, or the check on the speed, I have it now at about 48 to 50, so I'll slow it down here, but this will still track up towards Wagner and Muscogee. This would be, okay, still in Muscogee right before 11:30, at least on the west side of town, and then Wybark by 11:33, okay, and Wagner about 5 minutes after that at 11:35, and then for Mallard Bay and Toppers, that's going to be closer to around 11:40. So again, slowed it down just a bit, but again, it's still a storm that could knock power out. Watching some power outage potential here, and through Okmulgee County really haven't had anything pop up yet, so that's good. But still, of course, with the strong winds, you can have that issue along with very heavy rain. But this storm is still moving pretty quickly at about almost 50 miles per hour as it now gets into southern parts of Wagner County and almost into central parts of Muscogee County.
All right. Thank you, Stacia. Appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, in Okmulgee County, I think they've had a total four tornadoes already in Okmulgee County for the season. So it's like they've had all that they need and then some. Hopefully nothing is going to happen, but we do have additional severe thunderstorms down around Seminole. So again, these are just going to continue to track and continue to build as we go to the north and to the northeast. All right, I'm going to tell our production team that we're going to go ahead and go to a break here if we could in just a minute. But we want to give you an update on what's happening with these cells one last time here. So this is another cell that's going to have quite a bit of wind and hail potential with this. So this is near Okmulgee, and so we might see this become an issue of a warning with this. So this is right in a zone where an additional area, it's right on the zone, I should say, just right along a boundary. That's a boundary that's near Henrietta and then comes back. So this will continue to also be cells that are going to move up toward the Henrietta area. You can see what's happening with this. So that's also in an aerial flood advisory, which means additional rain is falling right here. So there'll be additional chances of another inch or so of rain. And so that's just part of a conveyor belt of water that will continue across this area. So you get the general idea. This is kind of the setup tonight. We call it training. And so that is going to be where we're going to see most of our rain and thunderstorms for a while until they maybe start shifting a little bit further south and to the east. So those are the major impacts right now. Severe thunderstorm warnings potentially coming back into Okmulgee County. Aerial flood advisories there. We have our basically severe thunderstorm warning just to the west of Brandon and near Muscogee at this time. I'm going to do, does he have a new shot, and does Brandon have a new shot before we go to break?
They're fairly similar.
Okay.
Fairly similar to what they were. Vaughn just turned around, but nothing outstanding that's different.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Hey, Vaughn, just a quick update from you before we go to a break. What do you have as far as what you're seeing then, if you're just getting us a shot? What do you see?
Yeah, I think I've got a little bit of good news. There's a little outflow boundary right ahead of this. So that's pretty good news as far as tornadic stuff is concerned. But, yeah, it looks pretty mean as it's coming into the Summit south part of Muscogee area. Thank you.
All right. Yep. Well, we can see it there lined up at this
And I will
point.
say this, Kevin has found some pretty torrential rainfall there where he's located.
All right. Hey, Kevin, let's talk to you up in Bartlesville. Give us an update. What do you have?
Yeah, Travis, so right as we got into this line of storms, the wind really picked up. It was almost dead. They picked up to 35, 40 miles an hour. And just absolutely torrential rain, Travis, and it's a great big raindrop. So making it a little difficult to drive, Travis. Back to you.
All right. Yep. So take it easy. And so again, covering the area, a lot of water. Severe thunderstorm watch is in effect for the entire area. We do see heavy rainfall rates that is happening at this point. So when you see that magenta color, that's indicative of how heavy the downpours of rain are. I mean, some of these numbers are very high. And so you get a pretty good indication of you don't want that sitting over you for an hour or so. So fortunately they are moving, but that still gives you a good idea that you're going to run into some problems. So if there's some reason that you'd be traveling here midnight or after in the early morning hours, just be aware of what's happening with those cells because that's a lot of water that continues to pile up in some of these areas. So the narrow bands, but they have been picking up, and also there's another one here that you can see. This is part of that severe line of complex storms. There was like 3 of them that went through, started in Cherokee County and then moved on up into southeastern Delaware County and then moved into northwest Arkansas. So we did have wind damage. Sequoia had that information for us earlier. And so even though we have some numbers that don't look like much, boy, it doesn't take much to get a lot of heavy rain. All right, that's kind of a roundup of what's going on right now. We're going to take a break, and we'll have more information coming up in just a little bit. Keep it here. We'll keep you advised.
So, I've washed it 30 times with Persil. The color's still vibrant for out late, out cold, outside. It's vibrant wash after wash. Clothes look newer for longer with Persil.